Another question here. This one is from Major Horn. And the question is, any tips on building a chest, or is it just reps and pump, more so than focusing on contracting the muscle? I ask because it's hard to build inner and upper chest, I find. Yeah, man, it's always about contracting the muscle. It's always about contracting the muscle and time under tension and the pump. But the pump kind of comes later. Like, I believe, especially in the large movers, the complexes, the larger complexes like back and chest and just overall legs, before you start to get into your, your real isolation type of work, your first exercise should always be your compound exercise while you're fresh. And that is usually going to be an exercise that involves a bar, because you want to move whatever exercise you can do, compound basic exercise you can do involving that muscle group or targeting that muscle group, that you can do the most weight. I'm not saying, half rep, loaded up, shitty form, endanger your joints, not saying that. Saying that you can actually perform, full repetitions with. Then that's the exercise you want, because you're only fresh once when you come into the gym. You're not going to hang out in there and train even 45 minutes and 43 minutes into it still be fresh. It's not going to happen. 40 minutes into it still be fresh. It's not going to happen. So that first exercise is very important, the one you choose. So like for chest, for me, it's always been flat bench. And a lot of people are going to disagree. There are people out there shoot it down and say the worst exercise ever for chest is flat bench press because it's hazardous and blah, 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 blah. I think it's an awesome exercise. I don't know any powerlifters with good benches that have small chests. So, it's anecdotally, it seems to me that flat bench is the way to go, and for me it is. I love flat benching anyway. I like pushing the heavy weight, really good compound exercise when I've been able to and not injured. For back day, for me, it's deadlift, first exercise with a bar. Leg day, for me, it used to always be squats, but legs I do things backwards. And Brian Stoltz is the one that got me onto that. And the reason I did it is because I'd gotten to a place where I was just squatting so much weight that a lot of times I trained alone, a lot of times in those days, and it was just becoming extremely hazardous for me to walk the weight out by myself, out of a rack. It was extremely hazardous to walk the weight out, and it was just unnecessarily tedious and precarious on my joints, my knees, my hips, and all this other shit, for me to put that much weight on, squatting. So what he showed me, we're similar ages, he may be a year younger than I am and 2 years younger than I am, is that we went in the gym and we did all our isolation stuff first, our hams and our quads. And then, we moved into like a hack squat and we went balls out, not saving anything. And then the last thing we did was free bar squat. So by the time you do that, you're fucking, you're done. So you don't really have to do as much weight. And we still went to 315, ass to heels. So it doesn't sound like a lot of weight, but it's a shitload of weight after you do all of that other shit beforehand. After you've been working out for about an hour and your legs are just beat to death and they're so pumped and just fucking numb almost, then you free bar squat. You ain't gonna do a lot of sets and you're gonna get the job done. So legs is a different thing. But initially, when I first was starting out, putting on all that initial size, back squat, free bar squat was my first exercise on leg day. So yeah, the first exercise is going to be, compound, multi-joint, heavy bar exercise. For chest, I like flat bench. And it is all about the feel. And it is all about, to me, it's all about complete movements, full range of motion. And make sure and thoroughly warm up. I started out warming up with just the bar. Back in my younger days, I didn't. I would put some weight on. First set it would have some weight. But as I got older, I realized I'm going to end up paying for that. And I had started to pay for that with shoulder injuries and things. So then I warmed up with just the bar. And that sounds crazy, but like 30, 35 reps with just the bar. Because initially my chest is so tight, I can't even touch the bar to my chest. I can't come down that far. So it's kind of loosening me up. And then as I add weight, it helps to force the bar down And then, you know, once I'm feeling nice and loose, then I start to turn the weight up. But to be quite honest, I would do actually like spend upwards of an hour just flat benching. Just flat benching upwards of an hour. And I've tried it all. I've done strip sets, I've done supersets, where once I'm into it and have been flat benching, then I'll move to doing a fly with dumbbells on the flat bench. And as soon as I lay those dumbbells down, jumping under and benching. Of course, it's going to be less weight, but it's a whole different ball game what it does. So yeah, there's a lot of things you can try and do, and it is all about the contraction. And after you're done that first exercise, then it's all about the pump. After that, you know, you're not going to be nowhere near 100% again, so you're just pushing blood. Anytime I see guys that have performed whatever their first thing is, they're midway through the workout, and they're still putting like stupid amount of weight on for where they're at and who they are, and they are struggling and straining really hard, and their form is all shitty in these isolation movements, just at the expense. That is at the expense of just trying to move more weight than is necessary. They're just cheating themselves. And it shows me, you know, two things. Number one, they don't have a good solid plan. And number two, they didn't really give that first exercise its fair due. And that's probably why I've never seen a really well-developed guy doing that. It's never the really well-developed guy with the fucking awesome muscularity doing that kind of dumb shit. So don't be one of them guys. Put your time in, pay your dues. I used to spend, now I'm in and out of the gym in a really quick time. I mean, 45 minutes, hour tops. I believe you can probably thoroughly blow that muscle out in 45 minutes. But the way that I train now, I train more than one body part at a time because I don't want to live in the gym. When I was younger, I'd stay in there longer, and I had more workouts a week than I do now, right? I try and get in and out of there quickly with as few workouts as necessary in a week. So my workouts are a little bit longer. They're still only, over an hour, about an hour, a little bit more. But I usually could actually just go in there and do one body part, 45 minutes, and bomb the shit out of it. Sometimes 30 minutes for arms if I superset bis and tris. Today it's different, like I said, but I've already got the muscularity. I'm just making like little gains. But when I made those initial huge jumps, putting on a lot of size, I would spend an hour just flat bench pressing. And then it almost doesn't matter what I do afterwards. I'm just pushing blood. Then I'm just doing some huge variety of different movements that are basically isolation movements. Now for upper chest, I'll tell you what I really like for upper chest. And again, there are these Google masters that will Google something that actually can't do it, right? They don't have any upper chest themselves. They don't have any particularly decent chest themselves, but they're going to tell you what you can and cannot do, right? Which I don't never get. I don't get these guys that have like 17-inch arms, 16-inch arms, and they have videos up on how to build the 5 rules for building big arms, shit like that. How the fuck do they know, right? I mean, you can read about something all you want, but if you can't apply it and do it yourself, then something's missing. If you're trying and you haven't been able to accomplish it, then you really don't know if what you're talking about works or not. You really don't. You're just going by what other people told you. And it's different strokes for different folks, because everybody's got different length of bones and different structure and the biomechanics and just the body shape and the shape of the muscle and the insertion points, and it's different places, as far as lengths for everybody. So, like a guy with really long arms, tall, different than a shorter guy with shorter arms. It's all different. So what works for one guy may not work for the next guy, or may not be ideal for the next guy. So find your own way. It's good to hear a lot of variety of ideas and suggestions and try a lot of things, but eventually you throw out what doesn't work and keep what works. And then later on down the road, that shit that didn't work the first time around may begin to work for you at a different stage of your development. Because the more muscle you have, the more complete and the better access you have to it as far as contraction. The better the contraction can be, the more control you have over that muscle. So what I like for upper chest, to bring out these collarbones, to build over these collarbones to make them look real nice. I like actually Smith machine incline presses, but they're so steep that it's almost shoulder presses. I like to get as steep as possible that I'm not straight up and down 90 degrees from the seat, right? Just one click back from that. Very, very steep. And I'll get close to the bar. I want to get so close that as I come down, the bar is almost rubbing my nose. I have to kind of lean my head back so that I don't hit myself in the face with the bar. And that's what I do. That's what I do. I've always really liked that for upper chest. The other thing that I do is that I really like for upper chest is, and the tie-ins, is the fly pec deck machines, the ones with the round handles you can grab. Same machine you can turn around backwards and put your chest against the pad, and some guys will do rear delts with it, which I never do, but they'll do rear delts with it. That machine, stand up in front of it, right? Because the seat just doesn't go high enough for me for this. And if it's a multi-joint machine where you're not really locked into just this, you can push out as you're coming around, you know what I mean, like this. If you have one of those machines, access to that, then I do kind of like an incline, fly with that, standing up. Push out and up, high, even over my head almost sometimes. Do like an incline fly with that. And I really like that for upper chest. And then of course there's the, stuff with the cables, lots of upper chest stuff to do and lots of inner chest stuff to do. Another thing I really like for inner chest is, again, that same fly machine. I like to hold my hands on it like this, not grabbing it. And sometimes I'll even grab like the square tube. Instead of grabbing the handle that comes off, the round handle, I might grab the square tube because it puts me a little closer. And I'll grab the square tube. If I have to, I'll stand up and just limit my motion to real close like this, like I'm trying to crush a beer can, right? In my hands, like I'm trying to crush a can like this. Push straight in, pow, like this, but like this. And I'll sometimes I'll grab the tube frame, like I said, and I'll push like that. Put this shit in fucking pockets. I'll grab like this and just push in, like this. Right? But like chest level, low chest level. Boom, and lean forward and push and squeeze. Squeeze. And I really like that for inner pecs. So, yeah, there's lots of stuff you can do. Lots of things I think work really well. Get a really good contraction. So that's it. You just got to work hard, pay your dues. And yeah, it's always about the feel and the contraction. And then after you've gotten through that first exercise, which is your basic mass builder, your basic compound multi-joint movement for that body part. After that, it's just all about pushing blood, flushing the muscle, anything you can do to enhance the pump, and just burn the fuck out of it. When you're finished, if you can still drop from height to the floor and catch yourself in your hands like a push-up, you didn't do enough. You should be real close to falling on your face and busting your nose if you try that shit. Then you know that chest is beat. All right? So thanks for the question. Thanks for the views. Keep the questions coming and keep hitting that chest, man. Keep trying a variety of fucking angles is where it's at. You don't have to go super slow and super controlled and over accentuated so that you can't really use any weight. You'll want to use some weight, but you don't want to use so much weight that you can't perform the exercise properly. So lighten up. But you don't have to go the other extreme, super crazy light. Like you see guys, I guess they feel like they really can't bench anything that they feel is impressive to other people. But in bodybuilding, it's the physique that impresses. It's not the fucking weight. That's not bodybuilding. So they'll get on a bench, a flat bench, and they'll put their feet up in the air and all this other fucking bullshit, right? Or they'll lay on a ball or some dumb shit, try some kind of thing like that. I don't recommend that. Your power comes from the ground. It's planet Earth. It's a fucking thing of gravity. Power comes from the ground, so you need to stabilize yourself and plant your fucking feet firmly on the floor and push. You want to get some weight on there, but you don't have to, if you can't get enough weight, then do strip sets. If you're going too much weight that you can only do a couple of reps, then do that couple of reps and immediately pull some plates off and lay back down there and fucking rep out. And I do a variety of reps. I do everything from 30 reps, 50 reps sometimes, all the way down to 6 reps, sometimes 2 and 1 when I was really getting big. So I do a wide variety of reps, but you want to get your heaviest stuff in on the first exercise before you burn out. You're going to go ahead and warm up and do a lot of reps, but nothing challenging. And then slowly work your way up with just couple reps. Even if it's something you could sit there and do 12 or 15 reps, just do a couple and add weight, add weight. So you can get up there in your heavier realms and then push the fuck out of that once you're there. Once you get to where you're really challenged to push 1 or 2 out, then pull some weight off and get to your working set weight. That's what I refer to it as your hypertrophy kind of fucking working sets, where you're going to get those 8 to 12 reps or whatever, 15 reps maybe even on a good day, and fucking push the shit out of that and do like 3 sets like that, and then, peel some more weight off. Maybe do some drop sets, maybe bring some dumbbells over and do some really deep flies, nice and slow and controlled. And you have to push, you got to feel that shit. Not just here with all your shoulders, right? You don't see that chest flexing, right? Push up with that chest, right? Use that chest. Feel that chest shortening. Feel that muscle pulling your shoulders around. Get your head in there so you can feel that going on. If you can't feel it at first, if you keep trying it, you're going to get to feel it. And that's where, in my opinion, most of your progress is going to lie. So yeah, it's always about feel. It's always about contraction. And then after you've done that first fucking multi-joint compound movement, you fucking trash that chest good with that one, then you're just pushing blood. So then you just do a bunch of multiple shit, and just gave you some ideas, some of my favorite stuff for upper chest and for the middle of your chest. So that's what it's all about. So get out there and get to it, and don't read too much. Just actually do too much. If you do too much, you just have to eat more, and then it's not too much anymore. All right, take care. Like I said, thanks for the views. Have an awesome day.